Boy, folks, isn't playing with fire fun? Don't you just love being in bed with a domestic abuser? Don't you adore combing the nether region of a fatty tit-for-tatty madman, looking for a shred of decency, or sanity, or just the tiniest clue that he won't bankrupt the nation just for kicks? Isn't it so much fun listening to the same old mother muckers still say the orange grandpa is making strategic chess moves, when he's obviously just rearranging cat turds in his baby man sandbox? It's global trade war time, folks. Why? Well, because of the oldest story in the book. A baby man needs attention. The whole world has to say, OMG, Orangina, you pooped in the potty. What a big boy you are. May I wipe your ass before we put your diaper back on? Yeah. But MAGA, at least you get to stop simmering over that black president we had for so long. And you get to stick it to all those libs who made you feel stupid. Or all those trans people who made you feel confused about what a woman was. Or all those brown people who you thought were taking all your tax dollars. Phew, score evened. Now everyone gets to pay at least many thousands more per year in goods, and everyone's life savings will be in the toilet, and everyone will know at least one person who has to come out of retirement to survive, and everyone will know at least one person who offs themselves because they can't handle the threat of being homeless. You sure showed 'em, MAGA. Revenge fantasy fulfilled. I gotta say, I'm amazed by your flexibility. I didn't know you had it in you. I mean, you held fast on so many issues. You weren't even willing to pick up your lazy little Google finger and research all the crazy shit you were screaming about before the election. And you were so clear on the price of eggs and inflation being your #1 metric for your vote. But now you've gone squishy. Unsurprising, I suppose. I guess you were already primed for flipping and flopping after your dear leader didn't end the war in Ukraine on day one. But boy, hearing you say you're all on board for short-term pain for long-term gain is just remarkable. Is Schmeelon sharing his K to the edit to the mean again? Are you rationing your brain cells? Because you gotta admit, this is a sea change for your asses. And I have to say, you're not selling it very well. I guess things weren't so bad under Biden after all, were they? I mean, if you're so flush you can weather a pain period, well, maybe you weren't telling the whole truth about what your bank account was looking like while America had an economy that was the envy of the world. And now here you are, willing to risk it all based on the whims of the guy you thought you were marrying for money. Yeah. See, that's the thing, MAGA. You gotta read the fine print. Now, I know he never said he was going to make up willy-nilly math equations even a 10th grader could see through to slap cray-cray tariffs on the world, and he never said he'd be invading Greenland or Canada or the Panama Canal, and he never said he'd let an immigrant psychopath molest the government and steal all your data, but Project 2025 would have given you a pretty clear idea on just how much he hates you and America and your children's futures, so I guess you should have read it. There was even a comic book version for reading averse folks like you. But here we are, still caught up in the trappings of your cult, still trying to figure out how one evil man and his minions could possibly hate humanity quite so much, when the reason is probably as simple as Putin's got a tape of Orangina doing violent and depraved things to minors or women or both, and the politicians who enabled Orangina to ruin the country to save his ass are afraid for their lives, and the whole world is one big extortion casualty. That's cool though, right? I mean, the whole world hinges on saving mediocre men from themselves. If the Center for Economic and Policy Research says households could see tax increases of about $7,000 as a result of the tariffs, well, that's a small price to pay for the most racist and bigoted among us to be able to freely sling their hate. And hey, maybe all the MAGA influencers who are telling libs to educate themselves on how tariffs work would be willing to share some of their social media earnings with the people who get screwed once the reality that libs were right all along sets in. Yeah. Well, Orangina and all the folks who are ready for some short-term pain, have the day you deserve. Yeah.